Oh, nice fish, dude. Big fish. Big fish.
It doesn't take much to get me to fish a new river. Usually just a phone call from a friend who says they know a spot and have a place to stay. For this particular trip, that friend was Jacob Smith, and the destination was the Little Schuylkill River. I met Jacob at a presentation I did for a chapter of Trout Unlimited in 2024. His family owns Hauser's Crossing, located in Tamaqua, Pennsylvania, right on the banks of the Little Schuylkill River. This quaint little village nestled in the heart of railroad history provides easy access to this and other rivers in the region. I'll drop a link in the description below. If you're looking to fish Little Schuylkill River, I highly recommend staying at Hauser's Crossing.
For the last 7 years, I would come up and fish it. I grew up about 30 minutes south of here. And the property that we purchased here, I would come up and help the previous owner with various odd tasks because he was an older gentleman, needed help, and kind of fell in love with fishing it and hunting it, and just, you know, explored pretty much every inch of it from where it dumps into the main stem of the Schuylkill River in Port Clinton, all the way to the very headwaters where it bubbles up out of the ground as, you know, as springs, but also then it goes directly into abandoned mine discharges to it. So it's, you know, explored pretty much all of it at this point. I mapped it out. There's probably about a 200-foot section I think I haven't done now, but other than that, I've fished it all. It's got, the headwaters has a lot of native brook trout, and then it goes into kind of like a stock trout fishery with wild browns in it. And then from about Tamaqua all the way to the mouth, it has wild brown trout, some pretty good sized fish. The numbers do decrease as you go south because in the summer it gets a lot warmer down there. The river's pretty wide, has a pretty good canopy. The numbers decrease, but the size of fish tends to stay the same. So we'll end up usually floating that with our little boat and throw streamers and stuff for that.
The Little Schuylkill River is a 30.6 mile tributary to the Schuylkill River, rising just south of McAdoo Heights near Haddock, Pennsylvania in Schuylkill County. The first day of the trip, I fished by myself along a stretch of river that Jacob recommended I try. This was a stock section and a good introduction to the area. Later that afternoon, I explored the 1.6 mile delayed harvest artificial lures only section, which had some great riffles and deep pools full of fish. The delayed harvest begins near New Ringgold and extends down to the bridge below Roush. For turn-by-turn directions to this section of river and other information about the Little Schuylkill River, the DIY fly fishing app is a very helpful resource. Everywhere I went, though, I found trout. The Little Schuylkill River is a scenic waterway. Everywhere you look are beautiful mountainsides covered with laurel. And although it's located close to heavily populated parts of the state, it has fairly remote sections where you can hike into and find solitude. Jacob and I explored some of these remote places. And along the way, we talked about the river's history, its recovery, and its future.
Is this that anthracite?
Yeah.
It's like, doesn't it burn super hot?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so we're in the southern, like you got the northern anthracite field, which is Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, all of that.
Yeah.
We're in the very tip of the southern field here.
Okay.
We kind of like the history on the Little Schuylkill and what happened environmentally to it is a really, really cool story. And I find it really interesting as an environmental engineer who does stream restoration work. So Philadelphia to this day still gets their water supply from the Schuylkill River. And in the 1940s, the river was so dirty that Philadelphia couldn't pull their drinking water from it anymore. So they called it the Schuylkill River Project. And what they did is they built various desilting basins and basically dams across the river throughout it. And they went down to the riverbanks and excavated as much coal refuse as they could out of the floodplain, you know, just with machinery. But where they couldn't get it out, what they did is they actually pushed it into the river. And with that, they would then let it flow downstream to the basin and they would dredge it out. So, but it's really cool now that they've done all that work. The river supports a real robust wild trout population, some big wild browns. But now it's gotten to the point where the desilting basins, they're actually removing them because they found that they were big thermal impacts from them, and obviously, you know, wasn't helping the water quality. They didn't need them anymore to clean up the river. They found they were pulling them out, so it was polluting the river. So they started to break the dams and now have been pulling them out. The one about 2 miles downriver from where we're standing, the South Tamaqua desilting basin, is currently broken. They cracked the dam breast and are pulling it out within the next couple of years to make a wetland mitigation bank, and then turn it over to DCNR as a state park, or a park actually. So the river's seen its definitely trials and tribulations over the years, with, you know, being used for anthracite and then logging industry, you know, even prior to that. But the largest abandoned mine discharge, which is behind the gas station right in Tamaqua, in 2000 or 2001, it actually blew out the side of the mountain and washed away part of the highway, because the mine just kept filling up with water and it needed a way out. So the current landowner built a treatment system where they dump hydrated lime in and then dredge the lime out, and that cleaned up the river significantly. And also with that, there was a couple other passive treatment systems built on the upper headwaters to it that have cleaned it up substantially. That section we fished this morning saw it had a lot of iron and aluminum in it yet, so that has cleaned that up substantially over the years. And I forget what year the sewage treatment plant was built, but prior to that, all of Tamaqua's sewage went right into the river as a combined combined sewer discharge. So it's come back greatly. It's got a real robust wild trout population, and it's a stock trout fishery in some parts of it as well. But it's kind of a little bit of the history on it. There's still a long way to go. I will say the browns really fight good in this river.
Yeah, they do. It's cold water.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's not huge, but man, did he fight.
Yes.
Sweet.
They're also pretty, and even that one, look at the shovels on them.
Nice big fins. So you don't see a lot of bug life here.
The bug life is it's definitely diminished from the impairments, but I see sulfurs, mainly caddis. Caddis is like the #1 food source that we find. Of course, there's always, you know, midges and that type of stuff, but it doesn't have near the bug life of other Pennsylvania streams with, you know, big names and stuff like that. But it's there. It's just not. You're not gonna come down here and throw dry flies and expect to catch fish. If you see a fish rise and you throw on a little caddis or a sulfur, you'll usually catch them, but it's not very common to see a lot of fish rising.
Although it had been a great day on the water, I quickly learned that Jacob had saved the best for last.
There we go. Oh, nice fish, dude. Big fish. Big fish. Wow.
That is a nice one.
That is gorgeous. Woo!
That's a nice fish.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, right on, buddy.
Look at the god.
Holy crap, that's beautiful.
That's the one I broke off.
Oh my gosh, look at the head.
Yep.
Oh man.
So we did it.
We did it. You called the shot. You're like, we're saving that for the evening.
Yep.
And we're gonna come down here and we're gonna catch him.
And guess what? That's 20. Yeah.
Dude, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, now put this on your website.
Yeah. Wow.
I just get a picture of that fin there.
I know, right?
They're shovels, dude.
Look at that. That is beautiful. Oh my gosh. Nice. on to play another day.
I enjoyed exploring this beautiful little river, both on my own and with Jacob. This region and the coal it produced helped shape this country, even the world, and the river paid a price. Once polluted and fishless, the river was left for dead. Only time and the dedicated efforts of conservation groups and certain individuals have helped heal the scars of the past. Today, the Little Schuylkill River is on the mend, and every new season breathes a little more life back into these waters. And with any luck, it'll continue getting better every year.